Welcome to the Love and Sex Today show with Dr. Doug Weiss. Doug has been healing hearts and relationships for decades. He's helped thousands of people release the shame and the guilt, restoring hope, helping people get free from addictions to enjoy a better sex and love life. Here he is, your host, Dr. Doug Weiss.
Welcome to Love and Sex Today. I am Dr. Doug Weiss, and I will be your host today. This is our 31st conversation. Our topic today is going to be emotional internalizers. Previously, we had a podcast about emotional externalizers. And for some, that fits you. For some, that was totally way off. For some, you were married to that person, and that podcast really helped you to maybe take the next step. Well, this topic is also right out of the book, Emotional Fitness, which is a great book. It's helped a lot of people. And I want to get into this today. But before I do that, I want you to go to loveandsextoday.com, subscribe, write a review on iTunes. Those reviews really are very, very helpful. Helps a lot of people to see what you heard or learned and encourages them also to click and listen to the same helpful thing you got to change your life. Also, one of you will be selected for a private conversation with myself, and those are going to be fun and engaging, and look forward to meeting some of you that way. We have a free chapter on the webpage as well at Love and Sex Today. That might help you in some way, so check that out and download that so that you can glean from that what you can. Well, I want to get into today's topic, the emotional internalizer. This is the other side of the coin. If you didn't resonate with the emotional externalizer, you're going to probably resonate with this one. The emotional internalizer is someone who really has the emotions on the inside of them. I got 11 characteristics, and I want to really share these with you briefly and see if this fits you. If it does, I think you're going to be have some insight into how you're experiencing your emotions and also how that impacts your love, your sex, your relationships, your marriage. Very important. Number one, they're responsible for their emotions, regardless of the situation. If they feel afraid, they feel anxious, they feel concerned, they feel hopeless, they feel overwhelmed, they are responsible for that. They're not going to look at you and blame you for how they're feeling. They're going to say, this is what's going on with me. I am feeling this. May or may not have anything to do with you. It's just what's going on with me. Now, I can tell you this feels very adultish because it is. The externalizer is more child adolescentish, and this is adultish. No matter what's going on, I'm responsible if I feel ashamed or guilty or confused or stressed. If you feel stressed, that's a feeling. Feelings aren't truth. They're not facts. They're just feelings. But the internalizer realizes that, and they take responsibility for that. Number two, feelings are a choice. Someone who internalizes their feelings understands emotions just are. And I can feel this way, and I can breathe. I can switch to another feeling. And if you haven't developed that skill, I definitely strongly recommend Emotional Fitness from Challenge to Champion in 60 Days. It's one of my favorite books that I've written. It's helped so many people evolve emotionally. Because where do you go to get classes on emotional fitness? And where do you become emotionally fit? The gym? How about high school? College? I got 4 degrees. Didn't learn it in school. So this book can really help you. Number 3, chooses responses. Regardless of their feelings, they actually think before they speak. They don't puke and verbalize and hit walls. And they may not choose to speak at all, so that they can really think through what their response is going to be in the relationship, because the relationship has value to them. Number 5, they tend to grow emotionally. They're the kind of person who will take information and courses and read books and evolve. They tend to be hungry to evolve. That includes emotionally. Number 6, they're honest with their self and their feelings. They don't need to always look good. They don't always need to be congruent with what's going on. They're just honest with who they are, and they're honest with their feelings. And I can tell you, being in a relationship with people that are emotionally internalizers is so easy, because you know where they are, because they tell you where they are. They're open and they're honest about that. It's wonderful. If someone says, I really felt discounted or unimportant when this happened. Okay. That's how they felt. It's not necessarily what the other person was trying to cause, but it's what they felt. Number 7, they tend to be pretty fearless because they don't have a lot of shame and guilt and stuff like that, because they've processed that, they've evolved, they've felt the feeling back then, and they didn't medicate it. They're able to be very present and very fearless, especially if they believe in something. If they're passionate about something, they are fearless, okay? Number 8, they're assertive. Now, assertive is a big word, and especially in my field, we kind of overuse it. So let me give you just kind of a quick thing on there. There's passive, which I think you're more valuable than I am. Okay, there's aggressive, where I think I am more valuable than you are, so therefore I can treat you any way I want to. And then there's aggressive. I respect my value in this relationship, and I respect your value in this relationship, and I can speak who I am to you in a very assertive, frank kind of way, without feeling like I need to demean, disrespect, or shame you to make my point. I don't need to do that. I'm assertive. This is someone that if you experience in your life, whether it's at work or in a relationship or in a family or in a marriage, they're gonna have boundaries, and they're gonna tell you if they're crossed. They're gonna clearly communicate what's going on, and they're gonna be assertive about that. This takes us to 9, equal. They see equality. Whether they're relating to a billionaire or someone who's asking for money on the street, they see people as equal quantities, as equal values. They don't quantify them academically or economically or by race or by religion. People just have value because they're people. And I have value. I innately have value, and you innately have value. And regardless of where we're coming at in life, they tend to value people just as people. I was fortunate to meet Oprah and many people, Dr. Phil and many other people. And one of the things I appreciated about Oprah was she just seemed to have a way of giving you respect, even though, she's worth so much more money and has accomplished so many different things than you have. She just kind of shows up where she was at that moment. Okay, I was really impressed by that with her. Okay, and I've done many shows with different kinds of people, and some of them are very haughty and very disconnected. I remember one show with a very famous anchor, and I mean, she was so arrogant the entire time. I felt like, wow, really? And it's just a difference in how people actually give value to others. It makes a big difference. But that'll be someone who's emotionally internalizer. They apologize. They have no problem with being wrong. They know they're flawed. They know they make mistakes. They know they don't have all the information all the time. They know they're not always right. Now, if you don't know any of these things, you might need to listen to the Externalizer, okay? The podcast on that. This person has no problem saying, I'm sorry or I'm wrong. I grew up with Happy Days in the 70s, and, one of the flaws of Fonzie, who was this really cool super dude, was he could never say he was wrong. He could never get the words out of his mouth. It was kind of a funny thing about him. That's not true of the internalizer. This person can say, you know what? I thought about it and I was wrong. I'm sorry. I take responsibility for that. And they move right on. That is a very powerful difference between an internalizer and an externalizer for sure. Because if you remember, the externalizer is blaming. The internalizer is taking responsibility. So that's why they can apologize. And one last characteristic I really see about it, people who are emotional internalizers. They own their own emotions. They live in their emotional environment. They're not afraid of their emotional environment. They play with it. They experience it. They feel it. These people are empowering. The most empowering people I've met over my lifetime, and I'm talking about very successful people, financially or in their fields or in some other way impressive by their accomplishments, they tend to be empowering. Those people that are internalizers tend to be empowering. The people who tend to be successful, who are more externalizers, tend to be shaming and controlling and critical and trying to get you in their world so they can show you how superior they are. The internalizer is totally able to enjoy you and your accomplishments and feel secure and even give you ideas on how to improve that or to just celebrate who you really are. That kind of empowerment is really great leadership. It's great relationship stuff. I can tell you it will help your love and sex so much if you are an internalized emotional being. If you can hold your emotions, understand them, grow with them, experience them, be able to apologize, to have integrity in your relationship with your spouse. Oh my gosh, that is so refreshing. I can't tell you how many couples I've worked with who, of course, they were emotionally immature, they were externalizers, they were addicted, and had to really take on the challenge of becoming emotionally fit. And as they did, within months, you could see tremendous growth in their life, tremendous growth in their relationship. And I can't tell you how many women have told me, Dr. Weiss, there's a man in my marriage now. It's amazing. He talks about his feelings. He's present. He apologizes. It's like, wow, this is a totally different world. Yes. When you can emotionally develop, okay, a lot of externalizers never had the opportunity to develop. And oftentimes internalizers either grew up in a family where their parents were emotionally mature and therefore they were able to see it and model it, or they got therapy, or they got in some relationship, or they got in some kind of group of people who emotional awareness was really a priority, they really take off and grow. So anyone, no matter where you're at in your emotional fitness, you can grow, you can expand. And what's really fun is in the emotional fitness book, I teach you how to identify your feelings, write down your feelings, learn your feelings, communicate your feelings, look in the other person's eyes. And if you're doing that, you can start to make progress. Well, I want to encourage you to go to loveandsextoday.com, subscribe there, review us on iTunes, tell us how helpful these are for you. That will encourage other people, and one of you will get a private conversation with myself. Those are really fun and engaging. Also, you get a free chapter on our webpage. And lastly, please go ask a question. I would love to hear your heart. I would love to hear what's on your mind and ask the question. Dr. Doug, and just ask away. Now, of course, if you ask a 9-minute question, we're not going to be able to get to that. But ask a question that we can put on the air and we can respond to. We'd love to do that and see what's on your heart. And that question may help a lot of people. So remember, always have great love and have great sex today.
That's it for our episode of Love and Sex Today with Dr. Doug Weiss. Head on over to loveandsextoday.com and be sure to subscribe to the show on iTunes. When you do, and you post a review on iTunes, some lucky listener is going to win every single month a private confidential coaching call with Dr. Doug Weiss. Also, feel free to ask any question you like. You can push a button, speak your question, and Dr. Doug will answer your question in a future episode. So be sure to subscribe to the show. Doug's got some great gifts for you, and we will look forward to seeing you next time.